Thursday's meeting here. Check it out. Sounds like it's going to be. Make sure the council on it. Oh. Try and sit on the first country. We've been in the commercials.
Fancy new bell. Right.
Fancy new bell.
My attention.
Yeah, new bell. Great. All right, well, welcome to our meeting, and Neville is going to lead us in the prayer, pledge, and 4 witnesses.
Please pray with me. Father, we thank you so much for this day, for the beautiful change of the weather that we're seeing, the relief from the heat. But also, Father, the weather's stimulated a lot of anxiety in our communities and all over America. We pray, Father, that you bring relief for that. And also, Father, worldwide, where there are earthquakes and things of that nature. Father, we pray also for stability in our communities. We pray, Father, for peace throughout the world. We ask you, Father, that you continue to help us as Rotarians to build the legacy of service above self. Father, we thank you so much for our food. We pray again that you bless our bodies through your Son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
If you face the flag, read after me. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the 4 things that you say to do first.
Is it the truth?
Is it the truth?
Second.
Is there all concerned?
Third.
Will it build goodwill benefits?
And 4.
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you so much.
We have any updates from the team?
Oh. I think the only thing we have, and actually it's on there, was, I'll talk about it on another slide. I added another slide.
Gotcha. Well, if you all remember last month, no, the month before last, we had David Wolfman tell us a little bit about himself and what he does. So when Sean is done doing his duties as Sergeant at Arms, he's going to be the next Rotarian to bless us with his knowledge and himself. It's not much knowledge. Yeah. Oh, you ready? All right. Good to have Ted Nugent back with us this week. I mean, John, welcome to, I heard you even filled out the application and everything.
I did.
It was not a close vote. We're just waiting for you to check the clear. Thank you, big guy. Great weekend, Neville, great prayer. Thanks for pulling in that weather. Unbelievably wonderful break from that. So now I wasn't here for Wolfie's speech, so I'm sure it was engaging. Very. Yeah. So I'm not sure where I start, like coming to Kentucky, 9 pounds, 13 ounces. Okay. My mother and 3 other women from Boone County in the same delivery thing. And you don't see that these days. But went to high school with a kid that was born in this same area, same little room with me. So John and Mary's boy, been in Florence, Kentucky all my life until about a year ago. Got traded to East Jesus, Campbell County, and I'm adjusting. So I'm trying to get some of those duck shoes and NASCAR shirts so I can fit in over there. But I'm been married, let me see, quite a while.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, let's see, that's 41 years.
Oh, nice.
I like to say 10 or 20 very happily, but my wife doesn't like that joke. Then 2 kids, Shay and Brennan, both graduates of Boone County High School, as I was. They married and both given us 2 grandchildren. Shay has Philip and Matthew. We call Matthew the Tank. There's nothing that's in his way anytime he's moving. And Brennan has given us Maeve, which is Irish for she who rules. He does. And little Annie is now 3 months old, so we have 3 months to 9 years old.
Very good.
Quite a joy, spent a lot of time going to those ball games, so the trade to Campbell County was to be closer to them. And that all, Fisher. Is that enough? All right, let me see. I been doing the Rotary Club for a long, long time. And public service, I was on school board for, John just mentioned he was, so hopefully, John, that gets us out of purgatory a little sooner. I did 8 years. I did 8 years. Yeah. Got out.
Purgatory?
Yeah, I think it was voter fatigue. They were sick and tired of me, so able to get out. But the big things back then was growth of the county. We had a lot of folks in trailers going to school, which, you know, then we started building schools and lots of schools and facilities being built. That was one of the most significant issues. Another just tremendously significant issue was, of course, there was always redistricting, and the parents were always upset about their kids being redistricted, but the kids never cared if they were going to the school with the kid next door. And that was always something that was kind of enlightening to me. The children, it didn't bother them as much as the parents. But one of the other big things was we had to deal with a cannon out at Ryle. That might have been the largest school board meeting we had, where the Ryle cannon, and none of you, I mean, a lot of broad-ins here. The Ryle cannon was carrying a number of horses out in that area as well. So we don't have that problem anymore. A lot of the tobacco fields have turned into homes. When I was a kid, the dairy farms turned into homes. So it's all evolution here in Boone County. But very blessed to be where I am, and very good group here, and I'm always appreciative of everything you do. Thanks.
Thank you. We still need some people to volunteer to be board members for both the club and for the foundation. You all know, starting this meeting, there's a surcharge on the credit cards. It's $13.50, still $13 to pay in cash or check. Opportunities. We have the fishing coming up on Saturday. Then some training on the 12th for membership. That's a Zoom call or on Zoom call. Then down in Lexington, we have the RCoFKy. And we have the golf outing on the 3rd. Then we have the river cleanup on the 4th. As you see, Matt brought in a very fine burgers for.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Hopefully that'll make it to Jim. No guarantees at all. Please, if you had donated something for this work, please log it in. So we have.
Yep. Okay, this is where.
Okay.
So we use a tool called Buffer, which allows us to post to multiple social media websites at the same time. And so every week I get an update on engagement, tells me how many shared, reaction, comments. For a club our size, these are pretty low numbers. So if we can get everybody, when you see the posts, to like them, comment on them, share them, and then we set up events for all of our meetings and everything. Invite people to the events. There's a little, and you click on the 3 dots and invite people. That helps the traction, create awareness, and hopefully attract new members. So that's my speed.
All right. And while you're at it, Julie, would you tell us what this all means?
Yeah, so this is when you log your volunteer hours in. If you go to DACTB engagement, which is like a person on wheels. This is what you'll see on the front screen. This is the dashboard for our club. So far we have 121 hours that have been logged into the system, and I know there's lots more hours out there. I've pointed to a couple people that I know you have done things. Yes. Thank you for admitting mine. You can also log your donations. So if you brought in supplies for the school supply drive, You can log that in the donations area. And then it calculates over here in the very bottom number, how much economic impact our club has on the community. So already just out of 1 month, we have over $3,000 impact on the community from our volunteer hours and other things we've done.
I have a question, Julie.
Yeah.
Do you post anything on the, like the Facebook neighborhood pages?
Tiffany has volunteered to do that.
Okay.
Our club belongs to a number of pages. The issue is that I can't do everything. I have a full-time job, and so we need other people to help do that. So when you see it on our page.
There
Yeah.
you go, Gary. Good job,
When
Pat.
you're very active in the groups. Anybody, any groups you belong to, share the page, the post from our page over to whatever groups you're active in.
Because I'll tell you what, if you do it on your phone, you get the option of doing 10 pages at one time.
Yeah.
You know, and so, just it's not that tough to do.
Yeah.
I'll-
So feel
I'll
free
try
to do
remember
it.
do I'll try to do it.
In order to talk about the virtual summit. Fishing, if you will attend, please bring us down there. We could use the help for sure. Barb, where'd you go? Barb? Any other announcements?
Well, my husband's giving away our timeshare again. So it's last weekend or last week in December, right after Christmas, 27th through January 3rd. Freezing here, you can go to Bonnet Cookie at Lake Point at Discount. The raffle tickets are $10 a piece, and I assumed he put a pile of them in my purse. But the Kiwanis Club is having a Hollywood, the Glamour Years. It's a wine dinner at Brianza. It's on September 12th. And their theme is Hollywood, the Glamour Years, and you could dress up as your favorite character from the 40s, 50s, or 60s. Him and I are going as Lucy and Desi.
So that's taken.
And my mom, yeah. Yeah. So, if you prepay, it's $8 and the money goes to Go Pantry and Camp Corral. So if you guys want any more information, there's some flyers on your table, and I have raffle tickets for $10. If you want some.
Thank you, Barb. And Michelle, how did the meeting go on Tuesday?
We were kind of low on attendance, but Julie came, Casey was there, Carolee was there, I was there, so some good conversations on what we can do for the membership team for onboarding. I did have an announcement for the Sunrise of Hope event. Fork Bank has donated $5,000 to support that event. That's a good start. So if anybody of your business is willing to make a donation, we will happily accept those, and that goes for the golf club event as well.
All right. No, we've Brad Scheib and his wife, they have designated $2,500 for the club as well. Along with me, and he's designated $1,000 as well. So we're over $20,000 now in that neighborhood somewhere. So we're off to a really good start. So let's keep that momentum going. Birthdays. A busy month. Got Cynthia, Gary, Dennis, and Julie.
It's the month of my birthday.
All right. And then Wilbur is here, 18 years. Well, Brad, Jill, and Matt. Matt's here. Well, good job. Happy dollars.
On the 26th of June, we had a grandbaby.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh.
$5 at least.
We've had 3 boys, aged 31 to 37, and 1 grandbaby. Very happy about that.
Congratulations.
I have.
Oh, I Gary chair.
Yep.
My oldest granddaughter, oldest grandchild got married this Saturday in Cynthiana Barn in Cynthiana, Kentucky. It was a joyous occasion. The weather was perfect. Everything worked out well. My other son from Turkey and his family made it in time for the cake cutting at the end. Wow. Good time with that Bob. That's all right.
On a selfish note, I will share that on Tuesday, I broke 90 for the first time at Willows.
Wow.
On the back nines of Reeves, I shot a 39, first time I ever broke 40, so.
All right, yeah. Can't teach an old dog.
All right, so my first experience with the Red Cross, everyone's heard of the Red Cross, I believe, but in 2012, when the tornado moved to Pioneer, Kentucky, I was on a committee. I worked at the Bank of Kentucky at the time, and we raised I think $20,000 or something like that. So that got me a seat at this committee table. And one of the big players in kind of helping with that disaster was the Red Cross. And I met Kelsey actually at the Serve and Socialize fair at the library, which is a good place to find some, by the way. I was actually, what's funny is I was actually talking to our speaker 2 weeks from now, who was at the table right next to us. And Kelsey overheard me say that I was the Rotary Club president. So she came over and was interested in possible speaking slot. So Kelsey brings years of experience in civic engagement and community mobilization with a career spanning the Ohio Health Foundation, BESA.
BESA, but
BESA,
yeah,
okay.
same thing.
And now the American Red Cross through strategic recruitment and outreach across 14 counties. She connects people of all walks of life to meaningful service opportunities. So, ladies and gentlemen, Kelsey Mitchell.
Appreciate Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Y'all have been so welcoming. As I walked in, I've had so many people come up to me, welcoming me to this meeting, just saying that they were looking forward to hearing more about the Red Cross. So I really do appreciate that warm welcome very much. I do want to thank Ian. You better believe when I heard he was the president of Rotary, I walked myself over there and said, "Do you need these speakers?" So I'm really grateful to be here. I know there are so many wonderful people that you could have talked to, and your time is very important and valuable. So I'm grateful you're sharing a little bit of it with me today. So like Ian said, I work for the Red Cross. Tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a volunteer recruitment specialist. So what does that mean, right? Like Ian said, I'm responsible for ensuring that 14 of our 47 counties in the region that we live in, they have enough volunteers to be able to deliver the mission in the ways that we need the mission delivered. So I have the privilege of supporting 4 counties in Northern Kentucky, 2 counties in southeastern Indiana, and then the remainder of those counties are in. I'm excited to talk with y'all today about what we do. When I joined the Red Cross, I learned a whole host of different opportunities and services that this organization provides that I didn't know about. So I hope that I'm able to share something new with you today. Before I jump in, I appreciate that Ian began with his Red Cross story, how he's connected and how he's familiar with our mission. I'd love to hear if anybody else here has a Red Cross story, whether something that impacted you directly, something that impacted a loved one, anything that may be having to do with the Red Cross, giving blood. I'm curious if anyone else has anything they would like to share.
I can add the story I mentioned to you earlier.
Go.
Years ago, when I was deputy county judge and worked for the county, a fellow by the name of Gary Miller, who was in charge of the disaster service, and ended up being in charge of disaster service and nationally. We put the county's first disaster plan together. And he was extremely helpful in we had all the fire districts, all the other cities, a lot of social service agencies and whatever, and getting everybody to agree on how we were going to operate in the event of a disaster. And he was instrumental in getting that off the ground and great technical assistance.
Like a lot of people, I've given when I was in fifth grade, I grew up in Rochester, New York. And I remember riding the bus over to the high school because the high school had a pool in it. And this might sound kind of funny, but I remember swimming in the pool.
Yeah.
And you had bathing suit on, but you had to take your pants off and tie knots in the bottom of the legs and learn how to make that into.
Oh, yeah.
a life preserver.
Oh, yep, yep, I had to do that.
Got thrown overboard. Thank God I've never had to use that skill. My mind.
Good to know. You know, I forgot about that. Until he brought it up.
I forgot about it too.
Thank you for sharing.
And I got my little Red Cross card that I was an intermediate swimmer.
Yeah. Gotta have that hard way, gotta keep that, absolutely.
Yeah, mine would have been the 97 flood in Falmouth, which was just all kinds of hands on deck, and Red Cross was kind of leading the way as to how we should do this and do that. Set up shop at the middle school, and it was impressive as to all the different things the Red Cross does.
Awesome, I appreciate that, y'all kind of let me know what your experiences across are, I really do appreciate it.
Don's got one too here.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. I'm hiding back here.
No, you're good. I want to hear what you have to say.
So, years ago, when I worked for Delta Airlines, we decided that with as many people that came through the airport, we needed to train the agents out there on CPR. And, several of us became trainers through the Red Cross.
That's so smart, so many people coming through
Yeah.
the airport, you never know when there might be in there.
I know of a couple times it was used.
I believe it. Thank you for getting that jump started. That's incredible. And for you to have those skills, being able to.
Pun intended, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing. Well, for anyone who may think you don't have a Red Cross story, I would encourage you to ask the people around you, your loved ones, your friends, if they have a story, because they may, and you may not know about it. This is my great grandmother, grandmother Ziggenhart. She was a Red Cross volunteer during World War II. She helped on the home front and was really involved in the efforts that the Red Cross supported here in Ohio, here in Mason, Ohio, actually. And she was able to get a certificate, again, some hardware to say that she did this. We didn't know about this until about 3 months after I started with the Red Cross, and I've only been here just shy of 2 years. So thankfully, my grandmother is a very good familial historian, if you will. She keeps a lot of really important things, and we uncovered this, and no one in my family had any idea. So I'd encourage you to ask those around you, your loved ones, and maybe they have a story, because they may, and you may hear about it for the first time too. So I always love to start when we're talking about what the Red Cross does. What is the mission of the Red Cross? So we prevent and alleviate human suffering in the face of emergencies by mobilizing the power of volunteers and the generosity of donors. And when I say we, I truly mean our volunteers, right? I have a part to play in the mission. Our volunteers are out there in the communities, on the ground, doing the work. Sean, like you said, the shelters that opened up from the floods that occurred in 97, those volunteers are the reason why we're able to support our communities during really, really difficult times. And it felt silly not to acknowledge the tie that we have together. When I was able to meet with Ian, he shared with me the AED project that y'all took on last year and the incredible impact that it made, not just in Northern Kentucky, but also in Hamilton County and other Southern Ohio counties in the area. If I'm not mistaken, when this photo was taken and the initial launch of this occurred, right, 38 agencies, is that correct? Were in Northern Kentucky, were able to receive AED equipment and put those in the vehicles of first responders' cars. And if I'm not mistaken, the first day someone was saved.
2 days later, yeah.
2 days later, amazing. So having that preparedness, having those officers ready to go in case something happens, that's right in line with what we do at the Red Cross. So the fact that y'all saved at least one life, right? I imagine there's more from November of last year to now, which is incredible. So I just wanted to thank you for the work that you all did to make this moment possible, because right, we all have to take care of each other and we have to be able to support each other along the way. So I need to acknowledge this, because when Ethan told me this story, I was blown away. I was absolutely blown away. So I just want to thank you for what you did in that space.
Which I did not share this as an item, but I found out last Monday that 2 days prior, a client of a friend of mine in Independence was saved by one of the AED devices.
Wow.
Good.
That's awesome.
You never know what's gonna happen to someone. Someone, you know, someone that's connected to either yourself directly or a loved one. Thank you for sharing that, Julie. That's really. So yeah, I'm excited to talk a little bit more about how our mission at the Red Cross and the work that y'all did with guiding those AEDs connect together. Before I do so, I'd love to get a sense of what y'all think about some questions here. The first one is, what percentage of the Red Cross workforce do you think is made up of volunteers? So what percentage of the workforce are volunteers versus paid staff like myself? Any guesses? Yes, sir.
95.
Any other guesses?
It sounds high.
It sounds high?
Yeah.
What would you go with?
I would go 85, 89.
85, 89, okay. Right. Well, y'all right in the middle, 90%.
Yeah.
Right. So great guess, both of you. You're right in the middle. You're right next to both ends.
Make a good team then.
There you go. Okay, there it is. So whenever you see a Red Cross vehicle out and about, whenever you see something on the news about Red Crossers responding to a disaster, whether it be here or somewhere nationally, 9 times out of 10, that's someone that's giving their time and their talents to make sure that we're able to deliver our mission. So our volunteers are really special to us. We could not do this work without them. And that's the best part of my job, getting to talk with folks and connecting them with the opportunities that are going to enrich their lives, fulfill them, and allow them to be part of the mission in ways that they would like to be. Our next question, how many hours? So let me preface, this is our entire region that I'm talking about. So the 47 counties that I mentioned, that is what region our chapter is a part of. So think of 47 counties. How many hours do you think our volunteers worked last fiscal year? So July 1 through June 30 of this
A
year.
year,
For a year.
300,000.
300,000?
I'm gonna say closer to 1 million.
Million? Okay.
301,000.
George's over here, he's close on all of it. So 208,348 hours. So these are great answers. So that's just for our area. That's just for the 47 counties of Ohio, parts of southeast Indiana, and northern Kentucky. So times that by all of the counties, right, in our nation. It's pretty amazing what our volunteers do for us. And then how many volunteers do you think we currently have in our greater Cincinnati tri-state chapter? So that's 14 counties worth of folks that we're trying to support. What would your guess be on that? George, you're pretty close on all these. Do you have a
107,000.
170,000 people?
107.
107 people. Perfect.
107,000. 107,000.
Perfect.
2,500.
2,500.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be an awful lot of hours each.
Yeah.
592.
So
Wow.
357 of those people are the ones that are responding to all of the local disasters that occur in our community. The
Wow.
youth that you see up there, we have Red Cross clubs that are a part of our high schools and our colleges, and those
That's cool.
students are able to share the mission of the Red Cross with their peers and teachers, their community. Think about that. 357 people respond to everything that happens down here.
That's not very many.
It doesn't seem like very many. I agree. And that's why we need.
No,
more people.
not for 208,000 hours.
Yeah,
Full-time job.
Yeah.
and look, they're tracking their hours.
Thanks so much. When you were talking about hour tracking, it's like, I feel like I'm at home right now, track those hours, y'all. So it's pretty incredible, what our folks are already doing, and we need more people. So we have 123 open spots we're hoping to fill just this year, just this upcoming year. That's how we can be sure that our volunteers hopefully don't experience burnout, right? We don't want to overwhelm our volunteers. We want them to stick around. We want them to continue on with us. We actually have a volunteer. I don't know if anyone's heard the name Carl Berry in this room. He lives in Campbell County. He's been with the Red Cross for 15 years. So we'd love to instill the longevity and service like what we have for Carl Berry.
Would it be double dipping if we volunteered for the Red Cross and also track our hours
Or Rotary.
No, no, it's not.
I can't answer that. I'll get in trouble. I'm gonna get in trouble.
There's a project called Member Chosen Community Service.
But amazing. All right, y'all. So if I spent today talking to you about everything we've got going on at the Red Cross, I take up way too much of your time and we go way over 1 o'clock. So I thought for the sake of time, I'd focus on our 3 core service lines, just give you a brief history. And I'm always excited to talk with any of y'all outside of this meeting. If you have questions, hopefully we'll have time for questions at the end. If you'd like to dive in deeper into anything I talk about, I'd be very happy to get in touch with you. So first, our disaster medical services team, we've already kind of touched on this, right? The 3 pillars of that team are preparedness, the pants full story we heard earlier, right? Preparing for an event we hope hasn't happened. We're glad it hasn't happened. We hope it never happens, but you never know. Response, the folks that respond to those local home fires at 2 o'clock in the morning, right? 6 o'clock in the morning. And then recovery, the shelters that you mentioned, Sean, in 97. Making sure that we are holistically looking at a disaster before it occurs, when it occurs, and after it occurs, so we can provide as much support as we can to the people who need it, who've been affected by it. So we have volunteers that are in all of those different spaces of our work. So we have trainers, right? Just like what you were talking about, CPR training. We have what we call Prepare with Pedro, which is one of my favorite programs. It's taking information about preparedness to kiddos who are about pre-K, 2nd grade, and teaching them how they can prepare their families. So tweaking the language a little bit to where it's not scary, right, to little ones, but it's so they know the importance of it and they know the weight of it and the importance of sharing it with their families. So we have a lot of different programs in our preparedness space. In our response space, we mentioned that. And then our recovery space, we touched on that a little bit too. So there are a lot of different volunteer roles that fit into all 3 of those different categories. So if any of that sounds of interest to you, I'd love to talk to you about it. The second is our service to the armed forces. This is an area of the Red Cross not a lot of people know about. Is anybody familiar with our service to the armed forces, like with the Red Cross? Okay, awesome, perfect. I can talk about it. Yay! Something new, friends. I was hoping we would learn something new today. That's always a goal of mine. Does anybody here know who Clara Barton is?
Sure.
Heard that name? Battlefield Angel,
Yeah.
right? Third Civil War thing, exactly. So Clara Barton is responsible for founding the American Red Cross here in the States. She's responsible for that. And so the service of the armed forces was the beginning of that mission, right? That's what prompted her to want to start the Red Cross, supporting our military. We do that to this day, over 180 years later. So what do, right? We support both veterans and our active military folks. So from the veterans perspective, we offer resources to vets. So there's a number that veterans can call. I had someone call me the other day. They got my number and sometimes they do, and that's okay. Get us to the right place. And they needed an air conditioner. Their air conditioner broke. That's something that I can connect somebody with a representative of our service of the armed forces team. They can help get them some support and make sure that they get what they need. With our active military, there are a variety of ways that support happens. One that I'm aware of is I had a grandmother call me several months ago, and she said, "Hi, I'm so sorry. My grandson's mother is in the hospital and it's not looking good and he's overseas. What do I do? How do I get him home?" We helped to get him home. So I connected that grandmother with the right folks with our service of the armed forces team, and they were able to connect with her grandson's unit. They're able, as long as his commander, his whoever is responsible for his unit, green lights it, they typically do. They get him on a plane and they get him home so he can be with mom. So that's the kind of work that our service of the armed forces teams do. We are really grateful for them, and not a lot of people know about it. So I encourage you, if you yourselves are veterans, if you have veterans in your life that could maybe benefit from, support from the Red Cross in whatever capacity that may be, I'd encourage you to share that with them. And then biomedical services. Again, we talked about blood donation. For those who don't know, donating blood one time helps to save up to 3 lives. It's amazing. It's super important. Here in the Cincinnati area, only 3% of eligible blood donors donate blood. So I encourage you, if you're able to, or you have loved ones who are able to, definitely encourage you to do so. We are very excited in the Cincinnati office, which is off of Dana Avenue down 71, if anyone's familiar with that stretch of the highway. We are opening a fixed site soon. Later next month. What does that mean? We can host blood drives every single day of the week there because we are going to have staff at station at that office. And we're going to be able to take appointments throughout the week. So we're trying to increase our presence in the blood space here in this part of the country. So keep an eye out for blood donation opportunities that might be popping up in your area. And in terms of volunteers, we need people to welcome our blood donors, right? If you've ever given blood, I'm sure you've checked in with somebody. Likely that person was a volunteer. So we need folks to welcome our donors, make them feel safe, comfortable. Donating blood is, not necessarily a comfortable thing to do, but it helps our donors have a good experience and then hopefully they come back.
Are you all associated with Hawksworth in any way or?
No, well, in a way, so we are a separate entity, but we do coordinate with them when there is a rare blood that's needed. So we have the largest supply of rare blood in the country, just nationally as an organization. So if Hawksworth were to need, and this is similar to any blood collection organization that's not the Red Cross. If Hawksworth has a patient that needs a specific type of blood, we're going to make sure that blood gets there. But we're a separate entity when it comes to collecting and those sorts of things.
Okay, so I have a question.
Yeah.
So I used to donate in Toledo area with the Red Cross and they had me flag as, I think it was called CMV. And when I donate down here, I told them about it and it was Foxworth and they don't flag me as that. So what I was told is CMV is I lack certain antibodies
Okay.
that they can use my blood in premature babies.
Okay. Yeah.
So I used to get called constantly. But Hawksworth didn't. So if I were to donate here, could they test to make sure I'm still CMV?
Yes. So I would love to take that back to my biomed team because I don't want to give you false information. But with us being that collector of rare blood, we clock that. So we are really big in collecting blood for sickle cell patients. That's a really big initiative we have in the Red Cross. And then similarly, right, making sure that preemie babies are able to have what they need. I'll double check that.
I'm O negative.
The answer is yes.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm O negative too.
You get called a lot.
Yeah.
I'll check on that answer for you, Julie.
Okay, that'd be
And I'll
awesome.
let you know.
So-
I would be shocked if the answer wasn't yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be shocked if the answer was yes.
Cause that'll change where I donate. So.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Those are great
Yes,
questions.
thank
Anything
you.
else? Yeah, George.
It's my understanding that there's a lot more people that can give blood now that could not give it before.
Yes.
We're talking about cancer patients and et cetera. So could you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so it's really dependent. It's very specific to the person, right? Because people that have gone through any kind of treatment, their bodies react differently to it, or even if it's the same cocktail of chemo or whatever someone's dealing with. So with that, it's based on very much a specific person. And when you go to your appointment, you'll do it every time you do a physical and they'll test those different things. Like you said, Julie, they'll test different vital signs. But yes, so that's true. And then also, gay men are able to donate blood. The FDA changed that several years ago. So that wasn't a Red Cross policy, that was government policy, but yes, but definitely increases the number of people who are able to donate. It's a great point, George. This is a great conversation, y'all. Does anybody have any other questions about blood donation? Okay. Check what time here. Okay, perfect. All right, my friends. So I did want to talk about just a couple of positions, a couple of roles that we really are in need of support in your local community here in Boone County and then in our greater Cincinnati tri-state chapter. Really sharing this information, even if it's not a good fit for you right now with your work, maybe the life that you're living, maybe it's a good fit for somebody that you know, somebody that you love, somebody that's looking to get civically involved. I'd love, for this information to go beyond this room if at all possible. So to start, our disaster action team specialists, those are the folks that are going out to home fires. There's no people that are going out when, believe it or not, a car goes through a building because you would be shocked at how often that happens. Flooding, when people lose their homes, so those types of disasters. So those are kind of our on-call people. Think of like a nurse or a doctor. First responders are on call. Our disaster action team, is on call. Because you never know when something's going to happen. We need people ready to respond if it does. Disaster sheltering, we've touched on that several times. There's a lot of different roles in a shelter for a shelter volunteer, cleaning cots, making sure the food inventory is stocked, making sure that our toiletry supplies are where they need to be when people come in. Being a listening ear, being able to sit down with somebody and have them unload the stresses that they're dealing with. So there's a lot going on in our shelters that are super important. Our disaster mental health volunteer, so as you can imagine, anyone in this role has an active mental health license. There's all different licensures that people can have to qualify. It is what it sounds like, right? Making sure someone has access to counseling and therapy as they're going through this, because I don't know how many people in this room are aware, but that's expensive and insurance doesn't always cover it. So we want to make sure anybody who needs it has access to it. Blood donor ambassador, people that greet folks at donation drives and are registering people and making sure they know what to do. Our Veteran Affairs Facility Program, George and I were talking about this a little bit earlier. We partner with our Cincinnati VA and their volunteer services team to make sure their teams are staffed and have enough people to support the patients and the staff that are at those hospitals. It's a great funnel for the VAs because they have difficulty recruiting independently. So, right, part of our mission, supporting our active military and our veterans, we have a relationship with our local VA. And then community and engagement outreach is really kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm kind of demonstrating it to you. So going to different events, going and talking about the Red Cross. We're going to be at the Black Family Reunion in 2 weeks down at Sawyer Point. So doing events like that, that help to share the mission of the Red Cross and educate people, even if they aren't able to volunteer. Maybe they learn something about blood donation, or they learn something about our free smoke alarm program. I don't go anywhere without talking about this program because it's too important. Who here is familiar with the Sound the Alarm Home Fire Campaign program of the American Red Cross? Okay, so y'all, this phone number is gold. If you or anyone that you love calls this phone number, you will get scheduled with, so a volunteer gets to speak with a volunteer, and they'll schedule a time for volunteers to come to your home, assess it, make sure that your alarms are in the right place. You would be shocked, or maybe you won't be, how many people unplug their alarms because they're right by the kitchen. Every time you cook, they go off and they're super annoying. Well, if they're unplugged, they don't work in the middle of the night if something happens, right? If there's an electrical issue or something like that. So please, 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 if you don't take anything else away from my presentation today, please either take a picture, write down this phone number. We want to make sure that everybody in our community has what they need in case a fire happens in their home. We've had too many multifamily home fires, apartment fires happen recently. And it's not exactly preventable, but we can help get people out. Because right, when a house catches fire, you've got 2 minutes to get out before it gets really scary. So love for you to share this phone number with everybody that you know. And would love for you to utilize this too, if you'd be interested in making sure your smoke alarms are in good shape. And I should say, everything about this is free. The smoke alarms are provided. We have a relationship with FEMA to make that happen. And our volunteers' time is free of charge to anybody that wants to. So that's really the information that I have for you, my friends. And so what would I be doing with my job? I wouldn't be doing my job well if I didn't ask something to happen after my chat with you all today. So the first one is obvious. If anything spoke to you today, I'd love to talk to you about volunteering. I always tell people a conversation with me, you're not signing up for anything. It's really just so I can go deeper and giving more information about what we have available. This QR code takes you to our interest form and it comes directly to me. So if we don't have a chance to chat after I'm done here, would love for you to fill that out. Let me know kind of what you think, what you're thinking, and we can connect that way. Donate to donate blood. There's a QR code for that as well. Would love for you to share this with 3 or more family and friends just to make sure they have maybe information you learned today. They have it too. Maybe it's a dinner table conversation tonight. I don't know. And then just sharing this information larger with your networks. Julie, again, when you're talking about social media and commenting and sharing, we have our region has a Facebook page, a LinkedIn, and Instagram, and Twitter, so or X, I guess. So if you're interested in learning and following along with what we have going on in your local area, I would love for you to engage with that as well. And that's my information. I'm so grateful for y'all's time and your attention and your warmth that you've given. Y'all have been great. It's been wonderful to hear from you throughout the presentation too, to learn a little bit more about what you knew about the Red Cross, how you've been involved in the past, and hopefully how maybe you'll be involved in the future. So thank y'all so much.
Got something for you.
Very nice. Thank you.
Oh,
So sweet.
hold on, wait, we have something up.
Do we have a book to you?
Yes. Me too. I neglected to say, I did bring some goodie bags with some information. They're in those white bags right there. They're for y'all. So if you want to take them on your way out. So I appreciate y'all for this. It was so nice. Thank you.
You got something.
For like a six pack.
Beyonce will be thrilled. They'll be thrilled. Well, I don't know if it's how much does there be good to me that.
And we also have.
Okay, Vanna.
It's going to be donated to one of the local schools. Your name.
That's touching. Thank you. Y'all, that's gonna get me a little scared. Yeah, that's so. That's so.
Any questions?
Any questions?
No, great. Thanks.
As you can see, we're not meeting next week. So, as you would say, go have lunch in the Rotarian.
Go on.
And so we'll be back here for pizza.
Liz Hanson is who I was talking to when Kelsey overheard.
I swooped in. I'm glad I did because y'all have been fabulous.
You beat her to it, see?
Thank you.
Awesome.